Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Miss Nekopon, and today we're going to talk about spec banners. If this is your first time here, welcome! Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if this is your first time here and you like what you see today. First things first, I want to thank you Moeka and Spoot for recommending a new microphone to me, so I hope all of you can hear me a little bit better now. And it also looked very fancy and stuff being hung off my desk, so this is very fun. Tonight we have maintenance, and with that we will come with spec banners. Spec banners are amazing this time, extremely godly, and I'm very excited to tell you what they are. Luckily the Korean dev notes were able to show us which weapons exactly we're gonna get, so we're gonna be able to look over all of those today. One of the most exciting things that we can talk about is that all the weapons, instead of having 18 cost, will have 19 cost. But you might be thinking, 19 cost sounds like it just costs more, but the fact is, they're making so that it's proportionate to that cost for the stats. So you're getting buffed stats as well, which is great for us. Because of this, I think it feels like PokeLabo is trying to push the global server along a little bit faster so that we can accelerate a little bit faster than the JP server did. Now, everything I'll be showing you here today are predictions from pieces of information I got from the Korean dev notes and also the English dev notes, and I'll be linking both of those in the description box down below so you can also review them if you want to. So to start, the spec banners are actually available for a little bit longer than usual this time. It looks like from the notices that we are getting it from tonight until the 20th, which is way longer than we usually get, I think about a week longer, and this will also overlap with Grand Colo. And it sounds like all of the spec banners are going to be available at the same time instead of how they usually roll it out. I'm not sure if they're experimenting with the dates to see how we react to it, if people are willing to buy more if we're doing this during Grand Colo, but it is an interesting change and I'm excited to see how that will turn out. We haven't heard anything about the slime collab yet, so I have a feeling it's going to come up right after the spec banners. Now they're really trying to drain us out with these spec banners. They are insanely good, so let's get into it. With the graphics that I'm putting up here, I'm going to put in the information from the JP side and then the updated version for global. So we have an idea of what the extra 1 cost does for the stats in the global version. In the magical Vanguard banner, we have 1 bow and 2 polearms. Now the 2 polearms are repeats, and they are actually very good polearms. If you don't have these yet, they're worth rolling for. The first one is Soul Eater's Light Sickle, and it has Evil Thunder of Defense 3, which deals magical damage to 1-2 enemies and also lower their magical defense by a small amount. This one also comes with Dauntless Courage 2, which is great. The other polearm is Executioner's Pride. This one has Evil Blaze Onslaught 3, which deals great magical damage to 1-2 enemies and decrease their magical attack by a small amount. It also has Dauntless Courage 2. Again, if you don't have these, they're probably a good investment to have and roll on this time. For the bow, this one is very interesting because it has drastically changed from the JP version to the global version. So the bow itself had its stats upgraded, its M attack is 2229, and then now it is 2403 for global. And the other stats all got increased as well, but the total stat for the global version is 7087, which is extremely high. It also comes with the skill Torch of Exorcism 4, which deals massive magical damage to 1 enemy. And it also has Dauntless Courage 2. It's going to be the bow with the highest total stat after it releases, and it has really high M attack. So it might be a bow worth getting if you are a bow player, although I don't know very many. I also want to mention that all the weapons in the Magical Vanguard banner does go up to LL in the JP version, so that might be something you want to look out for. Next, we have the Physical Vanguard weapons. The Physical Vanguard banner comes with 2 hammers and 1 sword. The hammer is very good. It has the highest total stats in the global version, and it also has very high P attack. Unfortunately, it is still not as high as Axe of Ruin because that thing is just godly, but this is very close. I think it's second out of all of the hammers. The skill it comes with is Lightning of Defense 3. It deals great physical damage to 1-2 enemies while lowering their physical defense by a small amount. And it also has Dauntless Courage 2. The hammer will have 2560 P attack and the total stats will be 7071. The other hammer, however, is just kind of decent. It is the Pagan Bludgeon. Now the sword is Sword of Suppression. It's not a new sword, but it is still a pretty decent sword. Sword of Suppression comes with Gale of Destruction 4, and it also has Dauntless Courage 2. It is generally a good sword with pretty decent stats. It has a tier 4 skill, so it will actually do a good amount of damage, but it does have lower P attack. Moving on to instruments, I mean, before we even get into instruments, I just have to say this is a godly banner for instruments, and if you're a minstrel, you should definitely pull on this. You got some really good stuff in here. To start, we have the Wicked Hare's Path. This is the featured instrument in here. It will be an instrument with the highest total amount of stats, and it will have the highest magical and physical defense. The total stat will be 7083, which is insane. The skill is Holy Knight's Gospel 2, which increases the magical and physical defense of 2 allies. And it also comes with support boon 2s. So it's 2 target, 2 stat, support boon 2, and an amazing instrument I think any minstrel should go for. Next we have crowd favorite Heat Wave. Heat Wave is still an amazing instrument with the highest P attack in the roster. It comes with Warrior's Waltz 4 that increases the physical attack of 1 ally and 1.5 times the effect when you are at a disadvantage. And of course it comes with support boon 2, so it's also an amazing instrument. The last one we have is Sweet Release Harp, and while this is not as great as the other 2 instruments, it's still a pretty decent harp. It has Holy Knight's Hymn 3, which increases the physical and magical defense of 1 ally. And it also has support boon 2. So you've had an entire banner of support boon 2 for instruments. I highly recommend you to definitely roll on this if you're a minstrel. Don't sleep on this. It is amazing. Next, let's talk about tomes, which is my favorite, of course, because I am a sorcerer, and I'm very excited to show you guys the tomes this time. We have a very exciting featured book this time. It's called Book of the Flame Spirit. Book of the Flame Spirit is a must-get book, and it also has the potential to go up to LL in the far future. Book of the Flame Spirit will have the highest total stats when it releases. Of course, the cost is 19, and it has Incantation of Corrosion 3, which greatly reduces the magical and physical attack of 1 to 2 enemies. It also has support boon 2. This book is amazing and it's definitely a must-have for sorcerers. It's even better than the Medical Book of Darkness because it has higher attack stats and it has support boon 2. So I'll definitely be rolling for this. Then we also have Book of Ancient Ruins, which has Curse of Submission 3. It greatly reduces the magical and physical defense of 1 enemy. This one also has support boon 2. And lastly, we have Villain's Book, which has Incantation of Debilitation 3 and reduces the magic attack of 1 to 2 enemies by a great amount. The support skill is Blade Deployment 2, which has a fixed chance to increase one of your Vanguard's physical attack. I think Book of Ancient Ruins is a pretty solid book. It's not amazing, but I think it's worth having around if you need another book with support boon 2. And Villain's Book is interesting because it has really high attack stats, and it fits in really well with the current magical attack meta. However, the support skill doesn't really support the Sorc role. It's actually a buff, so it's really up to you if you want this. Personally, I don't use it that often. I only bring it, for certain enemies. While it's a really good book for what it does, it's a very magical attack focused book. And of course, if you guys want to watch me roll for this, I will have a video of me rolling for spec banners again. This time I have a little bit more crystals, so the video will get longer and you can see if I actually get the books this time, because last time, well, you can see what happens. I'll put a link in the description box down below. And then for clerics, you guys also have a really good staff banner. Breath of Rebirth will be coming in this time, and it also has very high stats. It will be second highest next to Entrails, 19 cost wind staff, and it will have Staff of Protection too. The staff can heal 2 allies while increasing their magical defense, and it also has recovery support too. It's a really good staff, but the expected healing out of it is a little bit lower than the other staff in this banner from the Staff of Succession, just because it has a buff on the heal, so the multiplier for the heal is a little bit lower. Staff of Succession, still an amazing staff. It's also in this banner. It has a skill Blessed Gospel 3 and also recovery support too. It is just like a healing machine. This is an extremely good healing staff, definitely a good one to have. And then the last one is Golden Staff, which is definitely a worse staff than the other 2, but still a decently good staff. It has Breath of Assault 3 that heals 1 ally, but also increases their physical attack at the same time. This one also have recovery support too. All in all, I still think the staff banner is worth rolling on. Lastly, we have artifacts. The featured one this time is Sorrowful Stuffed Toy, and it has Evil Blaze of Defense 3 that deals great magical damage to 1 to 2 enemies and decrease their M defense by a small amount. It also has Support Boon 2 as a support skill. This artifact will have the highest stats of all artifacts when it comes out, and it will also have decently high M attack, so I think it's a fairly good artifact. The next two are reruns, which are Black Knight's Soul and Death-Bringing Weathervane. Black Knight's Soul will have Evil Blaze on slot 3 that deals great magical damage to 1 to 2 enemies and decrease their magical attack by a small amount. The support skill is Dauntless Courage too. And then lastly, the Death-Bringing Weathervane is also a decent orb. It has Evil Thunder of Assault 3 that deals great magical damage to 1 to 2 enemies and increase your own magical attack by a small amount. It also has Dauntless Courage 2 for the support skill. If you don't have the 2 rerun orbs yet, they're actually pretty good, so I would roll for them if you don't have them or if you need to fill out your grid with good Ls. So all in all, honestly, I think all of the banners are amazing. They all have great weapons in them. Even the sub-weapons, the reruns that they chose are fairly good. So they are using this to drain our crystals, beware of that. They're gonna probably come out with the slime collab right after when we're all completely broke. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck on all of your rolls. Let me know what you think of the spec banner, and I would love to hear your thoughts about it. I want to know what you think about the weapons, what do you think about the buffing, and of course, what did you get out of it if you're rolling? Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!